Earlier today, I was driving through the highway, right? And I had this thought to myself about how honestly, no one really cares about your dreams, which sounds really harsh, but like when I was younger, I used to always show all my comics and stuff. And like if I liked a girl, I would go off and talk about how much I love my comic. And I was always looking to have someone who would like understand and really enjoy my dream and be fascinated, be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. You draw a comic. And of course, I got people who praise me for the fact that I drew a comic, but there was always something missing there when I would explain my story to people, like as though it didn't matter to them really that much. And they just like to hear about it because it was me. And it made me have a thought that occurred to me is that essentially no one truly cares about your dreams. The only exception to that, I feel, is someone who's actively engaging to make that dream come true. Like, for example, if you're making a comic, right, but you have a writer who writes the story and you draw the comic, then in that sense, they care about your dream. But then again, they only care about your quote unquote dream because it's their dream. But otherwise, when it comes to people, you can't have, when you're trying to achieve your dream, you can't be obsessed with the validation because the validation is not going to get you. And honestly, the validation is typically superficial. Even the people that love you and care about you, they care about you, but they don't truly care about your dreams. And that's not a bad thing because at the end of the day, there's not going to be anyone who actually fights for you and will try to make your reality true. And that's something I had to come to terms with where I was constantly looking to have people hear about my comic, right? And I'll talk about it on occasion and I still talk about it to my friends and stuff. But I was trying so hard to have people validate my own dream and validate my own thing that mattered to me instead of realizing that no, the one person that you should focus your attention on and getting their validation is yourself. You want to make sure that you are your biggest hype man, that you're your biggest validator, because at the end of the day, there is no one who's going to pull you out of the mud. Sure, I'm not saying when people don't care about your dreams that it means that they don't like to hear about the things you do. But at the end of the day, people are always going to be in their own mind, understandably so. But you cannot be focused on trying to have people validate your dream because at the end of the day, no one's going to write that story that you want to do. No one's going to get that law degree. No one's going to get anything that you want in this world. Sure, people care, but even when you find a partner, right, they care about you, but like the care and love to make your dream happen or to validate your dream can only go so far because people are focused on themselves, understandably so. So you have to have this mindset that when no one is watching, you keep on pursuing whatever you're interested in. Don't be obsessed with trying to, because you'll get like the SoundCloud rapper, right? He shows off his music and people are like, oh, cool. And I've gotten that several times when I've shown off stuff that I care about, where I live and die for this stuff. And they're like, oh, that's interesting. Because at the end of the day, people don't really care until you show the world that they should care, until you reach that glam and that popularity that you may be chasing, or just at least some kind of recognition, or money for whatever you're pursuing. People legitimately don't care because they're not here for the dark moments, not here for the quietness of you being irrelevant. People only care when you're relevant. Now, when I say they don't care, it doesn't mean that literally when you tell a family member or someone you love, right, that they don't care at all that you like to do that, but they don't care enough to be able to drive you or probably to the point that you would really want them because no one can ever care as much as you, which I know it seems obvious, but I found myself trying to constantly get people to see, like, oh, if I get a partner, right, she'll be the one that finally recognizes my dream and appreciates my dream. But no, they don't really care, at least not to the care of yourself or even close to it. They like you and they may like what you do, but it's not going to be enough to drive you. And I think it's important to understand that they honestly don't care. Like they care to see that, oh, you're passionate about this, but people will only show care for your dreams when your dreams start to actually wake the world up and they start to actually shine the world. But no one cares about the matches until the fire is lit. So that's all I leave y'all today. Y'all have a great day.